today on TD Jakes.
We are talking to Grammy-nominated singer and actress Angie Stone, who is here today to rekindle her relationship with her daughter Diamond after an altercation that made headlines.
The only time I get to express myself is once I'm angry. But Diamond, I'm your mother, and what does that mean? You tell me.
Stop it, chill out. This is your mama. Your tongue you got from her. You walk alike, you look alike, you stand alike. She is you. If you don't figure her out, you'll never figure you out. Today, we are going to have a conversation. He has disappeared. You can stop this. Are you sorry? Oh. I'll tell you one thing. It's worth fighting. Look at that. Look at that. Look at who's cheering for you. The village is with you. Woo-hoo. Woo. Mothers of daughters dream that their little girls will grow up to be cherished friends. But sometimes things don't go as planned. As daughters grow, they become independent and seek their own path in life, and sometimes those journeys bring anger and resentment toward the very women who brought them into the world. Feelings that can be difficult to reconcile. That's the case with our guest today. Angie Stone is an American soul singer, songwriter, record producer, and actress who has been nominated for 3 Grammy Awards. But these days, the R&B diva is getting more attention for an altercation she had with her daughter, Diamond. The case is still in litigation, but Angie has come here today to try to repair the relationship with her daughter. This is the first time they have spoken publicly since the altercation that tore them apart. Please welcome Angie Stone. Angie, you and your daughter have had a rift that you're trying to heal. Arguments made the news. Describe your relationship with her.
My daughter and I are one and the same. However, being a young mother caused me a lot of distance at times, and somewhere along the line, I think I missed some things that I'm not sure of because, first of all, being an only child, and the sole provider that takes care of my entire family, I never have time to really stop and breathe, stop and live. I feel like I'm just existing for my family's purpose. I feel like that goes so unappreciated. So my daughter and I have somewhat of distance because I feel like when I was 22 years old and I gave birth to my daughter, I just didn't give birth to my daughter. I had to grow up along the way by myself with no siblings to help me with parents that only made it to the 9th grade. I feel like somewhere along the way, if I had known better, could have done better.
Sure. Let's go back. April the 6th, 1984. You birthed into this world a brand new baby girl.
Beautiful.
Beautiful baby girl.
I'm the most beautiful, precious baby, even until today.
I want to know, when they laid her in your arms, how did you feel?
When I first saw her, she reminded me of her grandmother. And her grandmother was not that fond of me at the time. And I said, oh, God, she just gave me a grandmother's face. So when she looked at me, she did this thing like, and I was like, you know?
Right.
But
how was your relationship with your mother?
Superb. I've always had an outstanding relationship with my mother and my father.
Assuming then that if you had a great relationship with your mother and you've now birthed a daughter, you know, my sister went through that, she birthed a daughter, and you have an idea of what that relationship ought to be.
Of course.
Fast forward from the you know, the barrettes and the ribbons and the Easter dresses and the frocks and the frills and all of that. The first altercation, the first sign that this wasn't going the way you thought it was going to go.
And fast forwarding past the sacrifices that I had to make in walking away from my, toddler to pursue my career, to pay my mother's bills, pay my bills, put her through school. It's hard to just zoom ahead because a lot of the sacrifices that I made, I did them for the love of my daughter. I was living in New York where crack was just coming out. I was exposed to a lot, and so was she. And rather than have my daughter hurt or destroyed by drugs, my parents asked me to let them help me. It allowed me a time to pursue my career and my mother and father to help me raise my daughter.
Angie Stone is a very respected, revered R&B artist with the kind of career that would make anybody proud to look back on, and yet she says she cries when she's alone.
All the time.
Why, Angie?
Because I think that what people see and what they assume is not real. I cry because I've survived congestive heart failure. I had to face the world overweight because I had sarcoidosis. And I had to hide all these things to keep money coming in to take care of my family because I didn't have a diploma or any other education. I dodged all of that and I just kept touring, and I look in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw because here's a 117-pound young woman who is now 235 pounds because of an illness, but I can't let that stop me because my mom's raising my daughter, and if I don't keep working, we're in trouble.
Let me tell you what I'm hearing. When I bring up about your daughter and fast forward from the birth of your daughter to when the first altercation comes, you can't tell me about the altercation for defending why you weren't there. It makes me feel that there is a great deal of guilt and worry and pain around not having the ideal mother-daughter story from the very early ages. Am I hearing good?
You're hearing good, but
Let
what
me
my
go a
guilt...
little step further, just
Okay.
step further. I want to unearth
Okay.
this. I hear you saying you're out there in a tough R&B world and you were out there in the fast lane and things were dangerous, and to protect your daughter, you sent her to your mother where she would be safe. But underneath it, I hear you explaining why you were not there.
Exactly.
Because it sounds like to me that you're really not talking to me.
Really?
You're really not talking to me. You're talking to the voice of the critics that preceded me. And I can understand, which means that you and I are here in a present day moment, but you're having a conversation with a lot of people that aren't sitting right here.
Right.
I'm not saying that's wrong.
Right.
But I want you to understand that you are in a no judgment zone. The purpose of the village being here and me being here is to see a family healed.
Gotcha. And that's
to see
what
a family
I want.
healed. I think I hear you say, beneath the words you say, I'm carrying everybody. I've got all kinds of weights and all kinds of expectations on me from my family, and I'm exhausted. I'm at my wit's end, and I am in pain not only from carrying everybody, but I'm also in pain because I do not feel appreciated. A black woman going into an industry where few women had gone, period, tough times, wild situations, criticized by the public,
Right.
attacked at home. How do you get it back? What does love coming back look like to you?
A family that not only appreciates me, but allows me to live in joy and not just be existing for their purpose.
We're going to meet one of those members of that family in just a few moments. Diamond is going to join us, and I'll get a chance to talk to her right after this.
Coming up next.
Do you think your mother's proud of you?
No.
because she's Angie Stone, and I'm nobody.
You know in your heart, I love you.
And later,
Not
See, you
her.
don't listen.
You don't
I'm your
either.
mother, and
But
you
you
never
don't either.
listen.
Now, you know if this is going on national TV, can you imagine what's going on in the house? Listen, friends, mothers and daughters share a bond like no other. But what happens when that bond is broken and the communication turns to utter chaos? We are back talking to Grammy-nominated singer and actress Angie Stone, who is here today to rekindle her relationship with her daughter Diamond after an altercation that made headlines. Angie, have you been able to have a one-on-one, sit-down talk with your daughter since all of this happened?
We have talked. I'm still trying to instill values that I think would make a difference in her life. I'm not sure if it's working because we have not had the opportunity to deal with all of the strain that's come about as a result of, you know, our last altercation.
By the way, this altercation is still in litigation, so there's some aspects of it we won't be able to go into it. But I'm not here to try the case. I'm here to mend the family. We want very much to get Diamond out here, and let's see what we can do with her. Please welcome Angie's daughter, Diamond. Diamond, with your daughter. Welcome. Bless you. Have a seat. Glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Want to be a help? Want to be positive? Sometimes in the process of being positive, you have to go through some painful places. But our ultimate goal is to heal, not to break. It's already broken. We're trying to fix it. Describe your relationship with your mother.
We have a very strained, awkward, confusing relationship.
Why?
Because she cannot accept anything that is unfavorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to speak to a person or convey how you feel to a person who's used to having their way.
What primarily has got you seething inside, so much so that you're sitting here and you can't hardly look at her? And she's your mother.
Mostly because she doesn't behave as a mother should.
What does that mean?
Most children gravitate to their mother for love and affection and support and understanding. I don't get that from her.
You did you ever get it?
Not that I can remember. I feel that a lot of my efforts are overlooked